because obviously the pool has been, you know, we've only had 5 games so far, so there's still a lot of exploration to be done in this meta. But Jhin and Ziggs are the last remaining AD carries that have been picked all so far yesterday. So I'm curious where we're going to end up going in that direction. The Jhin's out. You mentioned the jungle is going to be the first pick for Kanavi. Looks like it might be answered with the Jhin.
Yeah, I was curious to see what the answer was going to be, because Crown of the Shattered Queen, oddly enough, has actually opened up some new champions, the bot lane, like the Kaisas and the Ezreals that we've seen. But we are going to see EDG actually go for that pushing bot lane again with the Jhin, but something that can be quite dangerous in the 2v2. So if you end up going towards something like, say, a Leona paired with this or Meiko in the bot lane, you can have an incredibly strong trio that can look to play aggressive down towards the bottom lane and look for some of these kill setups, as JDG hovering on that low range Kaisa will have to keep herself safe against this Jhin.
Yeah, and importantly as well, Kaisa, with that kind of new AP-oriented build we might be seeing here today, we'll have to wait and see as we get into the game. We could talk more about that as and when, but jungle and AD carry locked in for each. Dagda, what would you expect for JDG to round out the first phase?
I imagine that it's going to be a support here, and my big question is how they want to go about it, right? Because I think maybe if you're going to be looking for some of these more aggressive engages, Thresh could work out, but they're actually just going to go for Yagao. So I imagine we are going to see that AP build from Kaisa, a huge amount of poke. You've now got Yagao back on his signature Zoe, a lot of poke there as well. It feels like, at least for JDG, they're trying to play this composition at range and see if they can keep EDG at arm's length.
And now Scout has to decide whether he wants that mid laner locked in. It will be the Ryze. So both Scout and Yagao going for signature picks here in the mid lane. That's an exciting matchup now. The Ryze versus the Zoe, and on 2 of the best in the world at each of those champions. We'll have to see as we get towards these next bans now, Dagda, where the 2 teams are going to go, because they have the exact same mirrored lock-ins. They just need tops and supports.
Yeah, I imagine for JDG, it's going to be kind of looking at those supports, right? We talked about how strong Leona could be in this bottom lane, especially when you've got a roaming Ryze as well. You can set up really well for these bot lane dives. So just from a safety point of view, I'd like to see JDG take some of these really strong engaged supports off the board. And EDG look like they're just going to prioritize taking off some of these blindable top laners. And it actually looks like JDG is going to answer with both Kennen and Graves off the board.
You know, I wasn't thinking about Graves as a ban, but when you're up against Flandre, after what happened at Worlds, I understand banning Graves. Like, it was like the one champion that he played the entire time, and then he brought out Kennen at the end just to throw a bit of spice in there. Yeah, I get that, man. I can get behind that. And EDG perhaps going to ban another top laner. We'll have to wait and see. Sion! Now, that's a ban I didn't expect.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, not exactly renowned for his tank plays, 369. I know he used to play a little bit of Sion, though, so obviously just kind of giving a bit of a nod to him. Still, though, I think for EDG, right, you're just going to go back towards something like the Jayce that's still pretty open. If you want to, you could lock that in. I still imagine they're going to hold counterpick for Flandre, but Jayce was 100% presence yesterday, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it coming through here for either side.
Yeah, you can imagine that being a pretty comfortable blind pick here, the side of Flandre. And we'll have to see where the compositions go from there, because honestly, Dagda, right now, both teams massive amounts of long range. If this Jayce is locked in, which I'm going off on a limb there, but feels like this is going to be a game of poke on both sides.
Yeah, I think EDG will likely take the Leona here just because they're like, hey, we want to make sure that we've got engaged for the long range that's on JDG, right? We have Scout that can help to position us correctly. Now we've got the Leona that we talked about for that strong potential dive on the bot side of the map, and JDG will be the ones that take that Jayce just because it's like, hey, we have a ton of long range. We can play off of this new build with the Kaisa. That's a ton of poke as well. Let's just try and make sure that we're having control of the early getting control of the objectives early, so we can try and play off this style as Meiko. I don't think we'll see the Annie. I imagine Flandre will. Actually, I'm not sure what he'll head back towards here. A lot of things taken off the board with the Gwen gone as well. But, oh!
What? Okay, right. It's getting spicy, Dagda. We've got an Annie locked in. Is it Annie top
what is
lane?
happening?
It's got to be, right? I don't know what is happening, but I'm excited. I have no idea what is... Annie top. Here we go. I'm ready.
Where's my crying notes? Where's my crying notes? I need to dig into it. But look, I mean, I'm not entirely certain how well this matchup goes. Not gonna lie, haven't seen it a huge amount. I don't know if people have seen the Annie Jayce, but I can still see, right, like Annie, you've got decently long range. You can try and go against some of the push that Jayce has in the early stages because you get your Q reset off of killing the creeps. So at least you should have some decent control over the wave. And then when you hit level 6, right, or at least in the later portion of the game, Red Engage coming through with like a flash stun. So I imagine we're probably even going to see potential for like a Predator or something for Flandre and this Annie, but this is exciting. I'm ready for this.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really interesting to watch. I've literally just had a cheeky little look online just now. This is something he's played a little bit in solo queue, and I'm not going to lie, he's had some pretty nice scores in solo queue with it. So I'm ready to have my mind blown here, but I'm really excited about the two comps we've got here. JDG very much playing a controlled long-range style, right? This is the kind of game that we know JDG for, and I love that Zoe Jayce combo in just about any composition. Then over at the side of EDG, I mean, they're bringing out the wild cards here, so we're just going to have to wait and see how they're going to play this one out as we head towards the Rift. It's day number 2, it's our first game, and it's our returning world champions, EDG, on the stage once more. And I'm so excited to see them return to the Rift up against JDG.
And especially in the fashion that we're seeing it, right? Like, I kind of get, like, we had a couple of chats, a couple of podcasts where we chat about, you know, what's your expectation for EDG? And a lot of people had them, like, coming out top of the leaderboard, thinking they were going to do splendidly. But there was a little bit of a caveat saying, hey, look, they're just coming off Worlds. They're not really going to be able to adjust the patch in time. There's no way they'll bring out something funky. And then we come into game number 1, and we have Annie top versus Jayce. So clearly, Flandre has had a decent amount of time in this patch, and he's ready to bring out all the shenanigans.
I mean, maybe it's a strategy when you think about it. If you haven't adapted to the patch in time, maybe you just play stuff that isn't good on the patch. Nobody knows how to play against it. Win by default. It's genius. 5-edge strat. I'm sure this is something Flandre has prepared. As I said, I've just had a look. He has played it a little bit in solo queue. It's like standard Annie build. I was thinking maybe it was going to be some kind of bruiser Annie or whatever. It's like, it's Predator, it's Ludens, etc., etc. It's all about doing that damage. So, yeah, I mean, how do you expect EDG to play this out? I have no idea how this composition functions.
The reason why I pointed out I think it's going to be Predator, which it is, it feels like, right, we're not actually getting a massive pushing bot, right, where you're going to be playing off of trying to go for these turret plates. Is already Meiko feeling a little bit of hurt. Jesus. Not the best of trades there for Meiko, but you're not going to be playing heavily off of, hey, we're going to look for turret plates and push, maybe off of Viper and Meiko. But it feels like what we're going to be looking to see is Jiejie early path up top side, using the Predator boots that Flandre already has to try and burn flashes, make 369 uncomfortable, and maybe continue to set up for some pressure on 369. Because we were saying, hey, look, JDG looked like they played through top. Maybe that's the plan, is to try and shut down 369 early and make sure JDG can't play that style.
To see Flandre and 369 already going at it up in that top side of the map. You expect heavy trades in this kind of matchup, especially because Annie will be able to get that shield a little bit later that reflects a little bit of damage from the auto attacks from Jayce, so it could be valuable there. But Jiejie getting invaded by Kanavi. Red versus red. Jiejie finishes the buff though. Did he actually see Kanavi? I'm not even sure if he dipped in time. Kanavi chasing him underneath the tower, not willing to let this one go for now. He's happy to go for the 1v1 and does get the big crook. Jiejie now turning this one into a fight. Knocked up 1v1 between the junglers, both on duelist. Scout moving over. Jiejie low on HP, trying to escape. Flashes the shock blast, gets first blood. And now 369 and Troll bubble over the wall as well. But it's 2 for EDG, and Yagao is sent packing.
It's a disaster for JDG. Yagao had push in mid, but Scout was able to quickly clear the wave as Ryze and move up to that top side. So what looked like could have been JDG favored with the 2 pushing lanes actually turns back in favor of EDG. And now that bot lane has all gone wrong for JDG.
Oh, and it's a heartbreaker for Kanavi. He's the one that started that play. He was confident to go for a 1v1 with Jiejie. And he's ended up 0-1-0 with Jiejie having 2 kills and an Iron Spike win already. We're just 3 minutes into the game. EDG, you know what? Welcome back to the LPL, lads. I guess it's not going to be a slow start after all.
Not even a little bit. And I love the fact now that Jiejie has 2 kills, right? He can start to take over this match. Already got that Iron Spike whip as he went to net punch. Usually Xin Zhao can actually do really well against Lee Sin and kind of puts him in his place. But Jiejie having this control and a level up means that he should be able to do a good amount here against Kanavi, as already we see them kind of eyeing up each other in the river, but JDG still up pushing lanes and JJ went back.
Yeah, that's one of the huge advantages that you get from having a Zoe, right? Always being able to get the shove in that mid lane in the right situation. And Yagao doing a good job there to make sure that Kanavi isn't falling too far behind. And I love the confidence from Kanavi to still go for that Scuttle Crab and go, you know what? I've got help from my team. Missing! It's going to pull! No. Oh, Meiko goes too far underneath the tower. Flash forward from LPC to get the 2v2 kill against the best bot lane in the world. Or at least they were.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate there for Meiko, right? His missing dives back underneath the turret. He ends up following the whole way under. So Tower's shot, ignite, and JDG's bot pick up the control there. And it's not exactly what you want for EDG, right? We're saying, look, this is a bot lane you can potentially look to play around, try and make some good moves. They should have the push. But if you're going to end up giving away these kind of sloppy kills, it gives another breath of fresh air and a bit of a window for JDG back in the game.
All right, EDG going to start off the Dragon now. As I'm liking this, you know, I saw JDG versus EDG on the scoreboard, and I thought, oh, it'll be slow-paced. Not at all. This is fast and loose, and Kanavi moves up to the top lane once again. Flandre in trouble, half HP already, as he gets into his tri-brush. The flash forward from 369, but he couldn't actually follow up the flash. It's a bit of a 3. It's a bit of a 3 on the roll on that one.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I think this is the biggest worry for Flandre, right? It's all well and good when you're kind of playing this Annie and you're in the 1v1. But as soon as you start to look for potential dives and you've got to overextend without flash, that's where it becomes super messy. It's actually, where are you off to, Scout? He's DP'd back up top lane. They're trying to bait the play.
Oh, Scout's waiting in the brush. Flandre pretending to overextend. Kanavi, he's been read like a book. He's been played like a fiddle at EDG. They're just too big brain.
So well done by EDG. You know, Scout might miss 1 or 2 creeps, but not going to miss out too much on that play. So nicely done by EDG, and they're covering all their bases, right? You can see Kanavi trying to play around this top side, use the fact he's got the strong solo lanes, but it's come back to bite him almost every time.
And you know, people said that the new teleport would mean that we can't have plays in the side lanes. I guess not. Scout doesn't care about your unleashed teleport. Here we go, knock up at the bottom lane. Viper down to half HP, but a good route onto LPC will trade the damage back again. So nicely done there by EDG to at least stay even, considering them falling behind earlier on in the lane. It's a 1,000 gold lead right now towards EDG, and it doesn't feel like they want to slow down the pace though.
Yeah, and JDG's kind of time to shine is starting to come to an end. You've now got the roams and maybe the plays, but Meiko not able to make that happen. Watch Scout, though. Scout already moving down towards this bottom side. This is what EDG wants to do. Unlock Scout from that mid lane and start to roam towards Flandre, who's about to have his flash back up for that stun on Tibber. Meiko, who can set up plays in the bot lane as well. This is where EDG can come along.
Yeah, I want to see Jiejie getting involved in these lanes, because that's something we know him for. When you think of Jiejie, during the whole season, he was a player that loved to play around Scout in the mid lane and loved to get into these side lanes as a duo with his mid laner. So hoping to see a little bit of that as he moves towards the bottom side of the map here. Meiko and Viper trying to bait it, but they've got Yagao moving over as well. This could be a JDG play as Meiko low on HP already, but he's tanky on this Leona. Walks into the brush to keep himself alive, and EDG staying grouped as a cluster. Beautiful T-fighting here as JJ goes in to finish them. Viper's there. It's a second for the jungler, and JDG forced away once more.
Really well orchestrated by EDG, and again, they're baiting JDG into these positions, right? Kanavi doesn't know where JJ is, tries to go for the play, and ends up overextending as a result because you've got Scout in that roam. So EDG just playing so well off of hiding information from JDG.
It felt like, honestly, there's a bit of style going on here from EDG, right? They're pretending they're out of position. This is EDG saying, we're better.
Yeah, I got a bit worried in this fight for EDG, right? JJ missed the Sonic Wave. I was like, maybe they don't have the damage, but look at Yagao's mana bar. he really just can't follow up on his play. Jiejie is working wonders with those early kills that he got, and now he's got 2 more in his play. 4-0 for Jiejie on this Lee Sin. He can take over so much in these lanes where we still have, I mean, a ton of control for EDG when it looks at Rift Arrows, Dragons. Like, this is looking pretty damn smooth for EDG in the first out.
Yeah, and let's be realistic here. This is a new version of JDG. The expectation coming up against literal world champions is not that they just come out swinging and find a dub, right? The expectation is EDG should win this series, but this is a dominant performance so far, and it's the way that they're doing it as well, Rob. They're only 1,000 gold up, but probably more than 1,000 of that gold is in the pocket of Jiejie right now. He's everywhere on the map, and it feels like Kanavi, who just a couple of years ago was considered the best jungler in the league, has been just completely out-mind game.
And I mean,
Yagao has actually pulled Jiejie under the tower, but that might not be the best play against a Lee Sin who can then kick you. Jiejie's in trouble though. The shutdown could be available for Kanavi, but he can't follow it up. Oh, it's a bit of a heartbreaker there for Yagao. That was an attempt. That was an attempt, but he just gets himself booted in the face.
And I mean, a lot of the early leads that JJ's gotten here has just been off of like having support coming through from his lanes faster, right? We saw that play on top side that gave him 2 kills and has kind of messed up the entire game plan here for JDG. And I liked what they came in with, right? Like, get rid of these strong 2v2 champions in the bot lane, these hyper carries that are going to just push and make our lives a living hell when we come towards strong team fights that EDG are renowned for. So let's go with a bit of a different style. Let's create this scenario where we can play towards 369 in the top lane, but EDG have just read them the whole way and beaten them every step.
Yeah, and it's almost a 3,000 gold lead at 11 minutes into the game, Dagda. That is a brutal place to be for JDG. But for EDG, I mean, this is the comfort zone, right? We've seen them ahead in many a game across the course of the last year, and it doesn't seem like they've shown any signs of stopping right now. And honestly, if this is how EDG starts the split, I don't even know what to expect for them going onwards. Herald going to be dropped down in this mid lane. That'll be a couple more plates going over towards Scout. 3 down on this tower. Flandre is moving in as well. Jiejie looking for a flank. Yagao could be in trouble. The flash tippers is in, and Jiejie with his 5th. There's a bonus one. Flandre gets a little bit of something for his trouble, and EDG just continue to press the accelerator.
And I love the way EDG are using their teleports, right? Like, the whole theory behind why we're seeing the bot lane scope is because, look, you can't actually... Oh, hang on, Meiko.
Bit of a catch on Meiko, but he is tanky. He is playing Leona at the end of the day. Viper moves in, but Viper doesn't have any mana to work with. Missing low on HP. LPC trying to go for a 1v3 at this point, but Meiko's made it out. And now Viper can look to finish off LPC. In goes Scout. And just everything JDG tries gets so close, and yet so far.
I mean, this is just a masterclass from EDG. Like, again, they're playing so well with the ability to roam, playing off of how well they can get, like, Scout into position, how they can basically move with this mid jungle in so many different scenarios. And again, like, coming back to the TP point I wanted to make, like, we've been seeing that TPs, okay, you can only go towards structures. Therefore, we're not going to see like these big plays happen. But instead, they've been able to take this Predator Annie, have those flash engages, sneak Scout into bushes, use that to their advantage where people think they're safe, but use that information against them.
We come out of the replay and Yagao's already dead. Not entirely sure what happened on that one, but not ideal for JDG. It's now 10-1 on the scoreboard. It's a 4,000 gold lead. And EDG showing absolutely no signs of slowing down at this point. And you know, Dagda, before the game, we were talking about potential playstyles, right? We were asking how EDG were going to play the game, how JDG were going to play the game. Well, it doesn't feel like JDG get to choose how they play. EDG have dictated every single moment of this game, aside from a couple of skirmishes in the bottom side. But honestly, I feel like moving forward, JDG, they need to figure out how they could possibly get tempo in these kind of situations.
And a large part of the issue has just been how well JJ's played, right? He got those 2 initial kills, but has pretty frequently just been taking forays into the enemy jungle. He's getting vision control down, making sure that he can spot out where Kanavi is, and is doing a great job of just tracking where the Xin Zhao is. So there never becomes a moment in time where Kanavi's actually able to go in and have that numbers advantage. Because JJ's always ready to show up. Scout has got that realm warp to come from the mid lane. And all these plays for JDG have just ended up backfiring. So it's been a phenomenal job from EDG to both read what JDG want to do, but also set up their own plays through this mid jungle.
And just take a second and look through the scoreboard at the bottom there at how brutal it is, honestly. You've got like 5-0-4 for Jiejie, 100% kill participation for Scout. I think he might want to keep that up as we've got a play going on in the top side as well. Trying to move in onto 369. Kanavi is there with him, but it's a 3v2 in favor of EDG, and it's just plenty more easy kills. Scout no longer 100%. That's a small win for JDG, I guess, as Kanavi is going to fall down as well. And it doesn't feel like JDG have anything they can do about this one. And you have to wonder, was this JDG getting read by EDG? Was this just both teams trying to make a play at the same time? But, I mean, EDG just overload the top side of the map and they make it work.
I mean, a lot of that is EDG reading them, right? We already had that vision control for Meiko spotting it where the camps were already gone on that bot side. So they knew Kanavi had to be on this top lane. And again, I'm loving this Annie pick. You can see the advantage, right? Predator on towards the Jayce. There's no way for him to try and escape. And even if he has flash up, right? You just follow him with your own flash and it's still the same scenario. So in so many of these cases, 369 has no chance of escaping. And for JDG, this is not the start that they were hoping for. They thought they had a game plan coming in and it's just been turned on its head by EDG.
Yeah, but again, not surprising, right? And you know, Scout could be in trouble. Flashes away from the quickness and the knock-up, and that might just be enough to get him out of here. Just that realm up, but doesn't even need it because the phase shift is enough. And I want to reiterate here, like, yes, JDG are having a rough time. Yes, they're massively down in gold, but they're against the current world champions, and this is a team that is clearly still in form. So you can all laugh at JDG at Twitch chat. This is a new version of that roster. You've got to give them time, but this is the hardest match they can have all year. It's their first game. They have got to pick onto Meiko, though. And a tower elsewhere as well, so a little bit of bonus gold for Jiejie. Trying to finish some kills here. Kanavi will answer for his crimes, and it becomes a 1-for-1.
It's a desperation, though, from JDG, because as you can see, you've still got Rift Herald taking that tier 2 top side, and they're going for more! There's just nothing left!
They just won't stop. Jiejie is a man possessed. He just will not let them leave. 15-2, and look at Jiejie's score, man. 8-0-6. This is a masterclass.
This is disgusting. This is just disgusting. You got Jiejie, who is a man possessed. You say you got the world's MVP coming in and Scout as well, popping off of the Ryze. Like, there's just no stopping EDG. They're just unbelievable right now. And look at the scoreline, right? We're like, you know, play around bot lane, the big brain, Viper, Meiko, the 2v2. Well, he'll get one for himself here, it looks like.
He could flash, but LPC also has his flash available. Actually staying for the 1v1. I'm not sure that was the correct play. Viper finishes him off, and now Flandre in a 1v2, but he just flashes on out and he's safe. Viper is not in the right spot on the map here, going underneath the inhib tower. And in the meantime, the rest of EDG is like, you know what? You do you, Viper. We're going to get the drink.
Yeah, we thought Viper was really going to have a big impact this game, but it doesn't really matter what Viper does. Like, EDG are just winning out across the map. 2 towers gone in the top lane. They're already pushing that wave in bot. Now they're starting to move up and get control over the jungle. And we're only 17 minutes in. They have 3 dragons. Baron hasn't even spawned. They can trade first Baron for position, or first dragon for position on Baron if they want to. There's so much in EDG's favor right now.
The thing is, Dagda, you say, you know, we were expecting a lot from Viper, but he is making an impact. He's making an impact on LPC's mental at this point. Oh, no, the Q went so slightly wide. Oh, he still gets the kick, and there's the tippers as well. I'm not sure you needed 2 ultis for that one, to be quite honest, but, you know, I guess at this point, it's just luxury kills, isn't it? Oh, my days. JDG in absolute shambles, and EDG, I mean, they're just running amok, aren't they?
Look, I'm ready for day 2 Penta. That's all I'm saying. If JJ can maybe just like get a couple of kills going, you know, welcome himself back, world champion, I think it would go swell. I think it'd be a nice little, you know, welcome home. If that's all JDG are providing,
who gets
rolling out the welcome.
Who gets it, JJ? It's got to be JJ, right? This game, I feel like, or maybe a cheeky little Annie pentakill on.
Oh, we've actually got the Thimble win. Sorry, I've just realized Scout, I assumed he was going to go for the Archangel Staff, but he's actually gone for the Fimbulwinter. He's gone full tank here. He's just like, hey, look, this mana is going to provide enough extra AP that I need to. As long as I don't die, I'm all good. So Scout going to be very difficult for JDG to deal with in this.
Man, I hate that you can do this. Like, look how little damage he took. That's a full accelerated shock blast from a level 2 to a level 12 Jayce. Oh, he just gets battered back into the Ryze and finished off. That is just unfortunate for 369. And now a solar flare goes down to the bottom side. Viper finishes off missing and opens the curtains for more. I don't think you'll find much as Meiko just going to play body block. Jiejie moving in like a shark hunting through the waters. Dodges the bubble. Not sure if he quite got spotted there. I think he'd be willing to 1v3 this, honestly. He's pressed his Q in the wrong direction. Not the greatest start to a play, I have to say. It's the second one, though, but he's just going to move over to the rest of his team. They'll finish off the tier 2 tower. They got a tier 2 at the bottom side as well. They'll be happy with that.
I mean, the fact that 3 members of JDG check a brush and are beaten back by 2 members of EDG and one of them's a support kind of says how this game has gone for JDG thus far. Baron on the cards now. Dragon going to be up momentarily. There's nothing. There's a 10,000 gold lead for EDG, and we're just 20 minutes into the game. Like, what do you do?
Hang on, jump in onto the blast cone. Looks like they're out
No,
of there.
you got time. It's okay.
I was excited to talk about the new Kaisa build. I was excited to say how it's different to last year. He's not even going to finish a second eye before the game ends. There's no chance we're talking about Kaisa
so
builds
people
today.
understand the concept, right? It's like, hey, we're going to build Mana Moon 8, Ready Dirt, Q. Missing?
Missing is the type of ping that is required for this situation. That's all that's happening here. Scouts found him, Viper's found him. Missing, knows it's over. The quickness has been used, and well, he's going to go down. Unfortunate. And now we're on warp into the Baron pit. You know what? Why not? Let's have a purple worm on top.
Oh no! You need to get the curtain call to clear. They're not even going to get the objective bounties punch. This is just mean.
Oh my days. Well, at least 369 is doing what 369 does best. He's in his side lane and he's hitting a tower. So at least they'll get a tier 2 for this one. But
they might lose
this is brutal.
You've got to push going to mid though. They need to reset real quick, although it looks like EDG don't want to try and push the envelope because I think Dragon's up in less than a minute. So they're just going to reset. Baroned up creeps, Baroned up champions, moving in towards the soul. Nice little inferno to heat things up on the rift and the early winter mornings, at least for ourselves. So, you know, EDG, they got it all.
Yeah, I mean, if you were struggling to wake up for LPL, if you were struggling to get your eyes peeled open, this is a game that'll certainly peel your eyes open, that's for sure. Maybe not even in a good way. I can't even tell at this point. It is 20-3 on the score. EDG have almost a kill a minute, and guess what? At the 22-minute mark, they're going to grab themselves an Infernal Soul. That is just a mind-blowing level of lead right now. They're 10,000 gold up. I mean, there's no point in talking about win conditions, this kind of thing at this point, because there are none left for JDG. And EDG, it's just a matter of just dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and annihilating what's left of JDG's hopes in this game. Gage coming in the mid lane, flash forward, Flandre gets him with the Tibbers, and it's Jiejie to pick up the kill. Shot blast in from the side, and EDG just continue to style on the remains of JDG.
Well, looks like we're going to be seeing a few more anti-bans potentially coming into our games in LPL as Flandre bringing out the new champion, styling on JDG. Nexus turrets under fire, but there is only the Cannon minion at the moment.
Yeah, but there'll be more. There'll be more. Reinforcements are on the way, Dagda. That's one tower going down. Viper, Gale forces forward to try and finish off Yagao. And now they engage quickness onto the whole team, but kicked away by Jiejie, who goes in, follows underneath the tower. Huge damage, though. Maybe a fight. The JDG? No, maybe not. Maybe not. Kanavi's going to be hit by the full shot. The whole team's onto the fountain, and they've been annihilated. 369 making the paycheck worth it as he gets a double kill. Oh dear, EDG, they don't want to end it just yet. They're having a bit of fun.
I love the way Viper's just like, what are you doing, lads? There's objective bounties. They get going back. But, I mean, even with all that, they still can't catch Scout or Viper. They would have loved that massive shutdown, but unfortunately not going to be the case. 10,000 gold still there. EDG. I mean,
well done.
Nice attempt.
What a welcome back. What a welcome back to the LPL.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. We'll go with that.
Props to Scout. Props to Scout. Had some fancy footwork on the way out. Keeps his bounty alive. I just love that Jiejie, after dying, still has a 300 gold bounty in his first professional game of the year. That's just mental.
But yeah, we get the engage coming through. It's a nice attempt from Miss Team, but there's very little that they can do here. And even like they get the kill on Kanavi. There's now 3 members of JDG dead, and they're just like gung ho, let's go for it. But not going to be the case either way. EDG take 2 should be a little bit more successful. There's no realm war for Skip.
I'm ready for another. I'm ready for them to just wait for the cooldown. In they go. It's going to be Kanavi trying to start the fight off, but the rest of the team not so interested. Quickness on the back line. In goes LPC. Is Viper going to go down? That's an AD carry kill for JDG. I mean, it doesn't matter, but hey, that's twice now LPC's killed the enemy bot lane, so thumbs up for LPC and missing. I like what I'm seeing out of the bottom lane. It may not be
they're going
win.
again.
Oh, they're doing it again. They just have no chill. EDG, these guys have families. Come on. The Nexus will fall 29-9. EDG are back, baby.
And we were talking about the redemption arc potential for 369, and it's shut down by an Addy. EDG come through and dismantle JDG. I don't even know how you start to look at a game 2 after that.
Yeah. I'm not sure there are words. I'm not sure there are words for that. That was brutal. And you know, like coming into this one, my expectation was, you know, EDG will come in strong. They'll look good. It'll probably be a 2-0 to EDG, but maybe we'll see some good stuff from J. No. We didn't see anything from JDG. All we saw was that missing an LPC, actually pretty good in the 2v2, right? They managed to get a 2v2 kill, which granted was kind of Meiko overextending a bit, but it looks like they're willing to pull the trigger, right? There's positives to be said there. That's all I've got. Like one moment in the early game, and I guess the assassination of Viper at the end. That's basically all I've got to say for JDG right now. That game. Whereas EDG, I mean, just playing with their food. They're looking as comfortable can be.
I mean, we were gushing about them coming into today, and you can see why, right? JJ even getting the most damage on the team. This guy was a monster. Like, the early 2 kills going his direction were wonderful, very unfortunate for JDG, but he played exceptionally to keep up that pressure, right? Doing a really good job of invading the jungle, getting vision control down, making sure that Kanavi was tracked at all points in time, and finding those moments to turn around those JDG engages, because it's one of the downsides to Zhao. Once you go in, you are stuck there. So if suddenly JJ shows up, there's no way for you to escape. So phenomenal job from JJ to secure this victory, and same with Scout. Those two together defined this game.
I just love that Flandre locked in Annie for their first game back. And they still just dominate. Hey,
look, we don't want to play in the 2v2 matchup against Meiko and Viper. We want to try and play something else. So they banned the Jinx, Felios, the Caitlyn. They're like, cool, all the main issues are going to be taken off the board. And once we got rid of that, okay, it's Jhin versus Kaisa. We can play away from this lane. We can play towards 369, but EDG just stopped them every step of the way. So for JDG, it's kind of back to the drawing board. What do you do now for game?
I don't know, Dagda. I don't have the answers for you, but they will, hopefully.